Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you are. Today, we're going to be playing Master Duel. Why am I playing Master Duel? It's because I've been sick for like 10 days, and I currently have a ruptured ear. Also, a charity I'm partnered with is currently doing a campaign very soon, and I'm torn between playing Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! So with that being said, we're going to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you guys like to see more, we will do more Master Duel. With that, it's time to get into some Master Duel. Game number 1, we win the die roll, and we are going to be on the play. And as you can see, we are playing Magic Specters. Normally on the main account, I always play Pendulum decks for these kind of festivals, but for this one in particular, we're going to be playing Magic Specter. So now we can go into the basic bread and butter of the whole deck. Summoning 2 monsters, and then we can summon our Link monster, Nue, so we can set up our scales and set up our hand. Then we can summon a bunch of monsters and have a bunch of fields set up, and we can search for more cards to play. Alright, not the best turn one. We just kind of have a floodgate. We have Magic Specter Kieran. That's pretty much all we have on our end board. That's his second summon for the turn. And that's not really a problem because we can just set up again next turn and we have a Raigeki for backup. Alright, so even with not the best end board for turn 1, we still survived. And now we're just gonna Link summon another Orthos, and then we're gonna have a way better board because we can search for a spell, a trap. And one simple Kieran wins us the game. That's an alright game 1. Game 2, we lose the die roll and they make us go first. We take those. We normal summon our dog and that's the whole game. So this exact scenario happens 4 more times. It happens a little bit more often, but we're just gonna be generous and just say it happens 4 times. So as much fun as it would be to make actual little content of this saying local Yu-Gi-Oh! Judge auto wins against random noobs on the Wind and Water Festival. For one, that's basically clickbait and it's bad content. Second, that's really cringe and also really bad content. Third, my comment section would absolutely ratio me for being an absolute idiot. So instead, we're going to do a quick little deck prep of the deck. So there's not really a whole lot of hand traps we can play, so we're just mostly playing Infinite Impermanence and Droll Longbird. We play a small Speed Ride package. This usually baits out a lot of hand traps. And we play the dog, we play Negomata, we play Yatagarasu, we play the fox, we play the toad, we play 1 Pegasus, we play the hedgehog, and we play 2 Kieran. As a quick disclaimer, I'm going to get a lot of their names mixed up, mostly because I'm either thinking of one of 3 things: a reference to the actual yokai, a reference only I understand, or the real world animal it's based off of. Dog can search for a monster and is the best starter we want in our opening hand. Cat is a low scale, it's another Magic Specter name, and sometimes the search does help if we do draw a bad hand. Fox can search for a trap card. Toad is a high scale, it can set any spell or trap from our deck. Rat is one of the new cards, it can set a spell or trap from our graveyard. Rat is also an extender if we already have a Magic Specter monster in play. And yes, porcupines are rats. Yatagarasu searches for a spell and is one of the best starters we can have in our opening hand. Kieran is another form of disruption that we summon on our opponent's turn. Pegasus is a new card that can search for a field spell, and like an idiot, I forgot to play the other Draco Slayer cards. Nue is the new Link monster, and he both sets up our scales for hand and sets up our pendulum summons in the extra deck. With that, it's time to duel. Game number 4, and we win the die roll. We're going to start off by normal summoning the dog, searching for the porcupine. We're going to Magic Specter Wind, search for the fox. Now we're going to search for the trap card. And now we're going to go into Nue. After seeing all that, our opponent has seen enough, and this is typically what our end board for Magic Specters will look like. Game number 5, we once again win the die roll, and we are going first. Opening Terror Top leads us with the free Monster Negate. We're going to reset the Magic Specter Wind. go into New Way, set up our scales, get back our monsters. Pendulum summon for 3. We're gonna set a spell. We're gonna add a counter trap, and we're gonna search for the floodgate. With Magic Spectre Wind, we can always summon a Magic Spectre from our hand or graveyard without tripping a monster, so we don't mind discarding Kieran. Or we can always summon our second Kieran using Majesty Pegasus. And with that, the 5th game's over. Game number 6, I am on the draw this time, and luckily I do open with both the dog and Droll and Lockbird to stop my opponent. Alright, starting the turn, our biggest threat is Dragite. We're going to bait it out. And then we're going to go into battle phase, we're going to evenly match, and then we're going to shuffle back his one monster and go full combo from there. With that, our opponent draws for turn, and they can't play through this board. Game number 7, we are once again on the draw. Fortunately for us, we did open Magic Spectre Cyclone, so we can play around Agarine. In attempts to banish our guy, we are just going to tribute him, and we're going to destroy the Synchro so we can fully play without any disruptions. They've seen enough, and we are currently undefeated at 7-0. Currently in my mind, the only thing I'm thinking of, this is very easy. This is so easy. We're going to complete the rest of the event going undefeated. And then we're going to finally reap our rewards, we're going to get our little gems, and we even decided to open some packs. Fortunately for us, we both pulled Centurion cards and Yubel cards, exactly what we wanted. Game 8, we lost a die roll and we will be on the draw. In my mind, I'm thinking this is going to be so easy. I mean, my hand is sick, I'm playing against Ice Bears, this is going to be an easy match. This is of course where we're going to hand trap him because I don't want him to draw 3 cards, and so far his end board looks pretty mediocre. And in my mind I'm thinking, yes, we're going to win. This is going to be the easiest match ever. He keeps the Synchro monster for disruption. He can't even target our Magic Spectres. This is going to be so free. And of course he has Ghost Mourner. By absolute pure skill, he top decks Medallion. And I've seen enough, and this is where we concede. Unfortunately, opening 2 Fox, if we had another high scale and a low scale, we could have actually continued our plays and done something a bit more, but this is kind of where we had to stop having absolutely nothing. Game 10, we win the die roll and we are on the play once more. As opening Terratop is a free monster negate, and now we can normal summon our dog, get the rat, and then go into New Way. Adding Magic Spectre Wind to our hand, we can play it, tribute, we can get the Porcupine to reset it, and we can also get Magic Spectre Kieran for our end board. You hate to see it happen, but they drew infinite impermanence for turn, and with that, they cannot break our board, knowing that we have 3 spell and traps for them. Game 12, we lost the die roll, and we are on the draw. And we finally get to see our very first Speedroid opponent. Supposedly this is a very popular deck, but this is my first time running against the deck. A very questionable end board, and of course we top deck Lightning Storm. Unfortunately he opened 2 infinite impermanents, so now we can just play to our heart's content. Like a dork, I put my Gossip Shadow in the wrong monster zone, so it's taking up one of my extra monster zones. So now I can only pendulum summon 1 monster from the extra deck. It wasn't until I entered Battle Phase where I realized I actually resolved Pot of Prosperity, so now I can't attack for lethal. He passes it back to us, and we just attack for lethal. Game 13, we lose the die roll and are on the draw, and this hand is very abysmal. Unfortunately for us, we're drawing all of our going second cards when our opponent doesn't have a board for us going second. It doesn't help that I don't have a single Magic Spectre that's playable. We try our best to interact with our opponent, but unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do. And now that my opponent has assembled lethal damage, the game is over. After unlucky 13, we are now in game 14 and we are once again on the draw. But luckily, our hand is really amazing. So this isn't our first Gishki opponent, but this is our first Gishki opponent on this account in particular. And the Royal Rare Marinesis. For the uninitiated, a lot of the Gishki cards came out during the DT era, and the DT era is rather old, and so old in fact a lot of these cards are not once per turn. It's our move, and luckily we have Lightning Storm and Raigeki to fully break their board. They do get a Mistar Boy trigger. Luckily for us, in the event if we don't have Dog or Yatagarasu in our hand, we can just go Magic Spectre Win, and we can get the Dog. End of turn, we get our Necromana Search, and I'm pretty confident in our end board. And I probably shouldn't have negated that, so it would count towards the 1 summon off of the Summon Breaker. Both fortunately and unfortunately, my unfamiliarity with Gishki actually saves me, I think. So now we are going to game 15, and we are 1 game away from winning all the gems from the event. Game 15, and we lose the die roll and we're on the draw once more. And here's where my confidence immediately drops. We're playing against Ursarctic, an archetype I know nothing about. It would be no exaggeration, I have no idea what's going on. All I could do was just stop them from getting their field spell, and hopefully that was enough. Our biggest obstacle is the Synchro monster. Any monster without a level cannot use this effect, so we can't use our Link monsters or our Xyz monsters. Duel and Lockbird doesn't exactly stop us here, but being unable to use Niue does stop us entirely. We activate our Duel and Lockbird in attempts to stop them, they go to battle phase, and we barely survive. Top decking evenly is alright, but at the same time, the biggest problem is still that Synchro monster. Right here, they're going to search for the spell card, and after that, we know we just have no way of coming back, so we're just going to concede right here. Game 16, and as always, we're on the draw. Against an Ice Barrier player. Luckily, this is a very underwhelming end board, and of course, we top deck Lightning Storm. We don't really care what they float into. If they want to get Trishula, they can banish any random card in our hand, and we can still combo off regardless of what they pick. Hitting our one Kieran isn't all that bad since we can just search for another one off of Magic Spectre Wind. They fall for the bait for our Speedroid, and then we can go into our whole Magic Spectre combo line. Once again, I'm a dork, and I put a monster in my extra monster zone, so I get one less Pendulum Summon. We do attack over his board. During the draw phase, we can get our Magic Spectre Kieran, and we get another monster summon because we don't miss the timing off of our dog. They try to give us a little scare during the battle phase with evenly matched, but unfortunately we already have the rat in hand, so we already have perfect scales in combo. We finally did it. We emerged victorious. 16 games, and we came out 13-3. Not bad. Overall, this was a fun festival, and I always enjoy finding an excuse to play Pendulums. As always, thank you for watching, and have a good day and have a good week. There is so much more Yu-Gi-Oh! To be played.